Yo, what's up, people of YouTube? SoresanCrockxen here to bring you Legend of Korra episode number 2 review. And I gotta say, this one was hilarious. Like no joke at all. So basically, the way we start this episode is, we see Korra again, in Air Temple Island, again where Tenzin lives, and they're supposed to start airbending training. They're they're at the start of the episode. They're eating, and we find out that Tenzin's not very trusting of Korra because he actually ordered the White Lotus to be like around the castle to like guard Korra in case he tries to escape, which I think is hilarious because it's obvious he already knows the kind of personality she has, which I thought was hilarious. And then they did the whole, okay, well, you gotta start your training. And they started by doing a little, I don't know if you remember, Aang did this. I don't remember when Aang did it, but it's basically the little. There's these little not bars in the movie. In the real, live action movie, this actually was shown, um, but it's, kind of different. But it's a little like rectangular shaped things that you airbend and they spin like crazy. Um, Basically, what Tenzin was explaining to Korra is you have to use the wind to kind of go with the dang it, I don't even know what you would call those. Um, but anyways, like they're spinning, so she has to go with the flow, to kind of get to the other side. And what's funny is that, what was it? His oldest daughter? Yeah, Janora. Yeah, the oldest daughter. Basically, he's like, you show her, show her how it's done, and she just goes right through it. Like, yeah, I'm dancing like an airbender. She just goes all around. It goes to the other side, and she blows the wind to make it go the opposite direction. And then he's like, Korra, go, it's your turn. She freaking runs through. She just starts getting bashed all over the place. I'm like, Korra, you're just supposed to dance. He said it. You're supposed to dance around them. And it was funny because she couldn't do it. And then we find out about the most uh, intriguing sport in Republic City, which I think is actually pretty cool. It's actually probably going to be the title of this video. I'm not sure yet. But it's the pro bending tournaments. Basically, you have three people. Um, Firebender, Earthbender, and a Waterbender, and then you go against another team of the same, and you try to. And there's like these there's 3 rows, and it's like a circle, and then it's divided, and it's 1, 2, and 3, and then after that you fall off, and whoever wins. I don't know. I think it's whoever wins the third one. I didn't even get because I'll explain what happens later. Basically, we meet these three guys, but we only know 2 of them because they're the only ones that really mattered, and it's Mako and Bolin, which apparently are gonna be Korra's friends now because she joins the team, and I'm gonna explain how that works. So basically, Korra is intrigued by pro bending, and she actually starts to list like freaking. Tenzin's like, no, you're forbidden. You're forbidden from looking at that and watching that because it's wrong. And then when she freaking after the training, she sneaks off and finds like the White Lotus who are supposed to be watching out for her are freaking listening to this thing. She goes to the roof. Like when he gets to the best part, he freaking unplugs the radio, and he's like, Korra, get down here right now. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy's a beast. And then she freaking, oh, I'm sorry. And she does the funniest thing. He's like, I thought I forbade you from dealing with this stuff. She's like, well, you told me I couldn't watch it. You said nothing about listening to it. I was like, gosh, Korra, that's not, you're just a back talker. And then, she ends up continuing the training. and she has to do the whole meditation stuff, which she's not very good at. Cause she's like, ugh. She's just sitting there twitching, and I'm like, chill out, girl. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't, I'm not doing it right. And Tens is like, you're not supposed to do anything, just let your mind go. She's like, I can't do that. And he's like, well, look at my son. Look at what is it, Milo. And he's like, he's doing it right. And she's like, I think he's sleeping. He's like, what? And he's like, well, at least he got the relaxed part in. And then, she just gets all angry because she says, oh, I'm not learning anything. You're not teaching me airbending. You're not doing it right. And it's funny because she just ends up, like, getting so pissed she leaves. And she, excuse me, she yells, she yells at Tenzin. She's like, you're not teaching me airbending. It's all your fault. And she runs off. Like, she escapes to go to the pro bending tournament to see the team. And she's just there. And she meets, what is it? She meets Bolin. She meets Bolin first. And he's like, because she ends up going inside the gym. And the gym guard, I guess, if you want to call it. He's like, what are you doing in my gym? Like, comes in all buff. And he's like, what are you doing in my gym? She's like, oh, I was just looking for the bathroom. I got lost. And he pulls up, oh, that nonsense. You had to go pee. And you somehow made it into my gym. I'm tired of you kids coming up with these nonsense bullshit excuses to use my gym for free. And then freaking Bowling comes in. Oh, no, she was just with me. I'm sorry. I'll take her with me. And she's like, yeah, but we're not, like, dating or anything. And he's like, no, I didn't mean that. It's she's just hanging out with me. And he's like, okay. He ends up taking her to where their thing is, like the players area. And then they meet Mako, and Mako's like this serious dude, like just like a dark, like he's not dark, but he seems like that kind of guy who's like always in the back, like he doesn't want to mess with you, but you don't want to mess with him either. And he's like, oh, why'd you bring this girl in here? So anyways, so we actually get to see a match. I gotta admit, pro bending is badass. Like, it's basically, you're just using your bending in a way that like it goes with your movements, which is exactly what they missed in the movie, in the live action movie. But it was like cool because they were like using their movements, and they're basically supposed to knock the other guy out. And I thought that was cool. It looked awesome. Like, I would be intrigued to be watching one of those like live. Of course, it's not gonna happen, but it would be. It just really looked interesting. And the brothers. Well, it's like two brothers and then this random third. And they're called the Fire something. I forget what they're called, but it's like Fire something. And they won. And Korra's like, yeah. When she goes training the next day, it happens all like she gets messed up again, and she gets pissed because she's not doing it right apparently. And so what happens is that she gets frustrated and ends up yelling at Tenzin, saying that there's no way she's gonna learn airbending with him as her master. And she ends up burning the little spinning tablets. I don't even know what they're called, but she ends up burning it. And it's funny because, like, you see Tenzin, that's 2,000-year-old relic, and you just took it down. Why would you? And she's like, oh, and she ends up leaving, and she goes to the bro bending again. And this time, the brothers are missing the third guy, so Korra's like, I'll join you. And then the guys, and Mako's like, no. Because that's cheating, because you're the avatar. And then freaking Bolin's like, no. And then the dude the referee is like, you got 2 minutes, and then if you're not, you're disqualified. And then he comes back again, he's like, so you gonna play? Korra goes like, yeah! And I'm like, dude, kill Korra in a pro bending. That's cheating in a way. But what happened was hilarious. So they basically go over there and like she's in there like as long as you don't do water bending, it's cool. Like they tell her, don't do anything else. In fact, Mako's like, you just don't do anything at all. And she freaking failed. Like as soon as the bell rings, she just knocks one of the guys off the side, and the ref is like, foul on the waterbender. You got move to space number two. I'm like, damn, Corey, you suck at this game. And what happens was that she kept getting pushed back, and she ends up having like she steps forward, and the ref calls it again, so she's forced to move to row 3. Cora's like, damn it! And I'm like, Cora, you should not have done this without knowing the rules. And she, she ends up, they lose the first round, and then they lose the second round because she's knocked off into the water. So they lose the second round, and then Tenzin, like they hear, like, because she freaking earth bends to deflect the fire and water bending that the other guys were doing because they knew she was sucked. She earth bends, and then everybody's like the ref is like, foul. And then like Tenzin's like, are you? And he's going to the White Lotus. Like, have you seen Korra? And as soon as he says that, oh my gosh, this person, the waterbender in this team is the Avatar. And you saw his face get all red. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna deal with her this time. He goes over there, and as soon as she comes out of the water, you see this shadow over her. Oh, Korra, you're screwed now. Freaking Tenzin's like, I thought I told you not to get involved with this. And she's like, oh, well, you're not... maybe I don't need airbending. I guess that's why I can't master, because it's not... I just don't need it. And Tenzin's like, you need airbending. It's not a choice. It's not... you just have to have it. She's like, no, right now what I need to be doing is that. And I'm like, you're failing already. Why the freak do you want to do that? What happens next is she ends up doing it like... He's like, excuse me, I got a game to play. And then he goes up and he actually watches her. Because she ends up getting pushed all the way to circle 3. And she freaking starts dancing. Doing the dance that the little girl was doing earlier. And he's like, oh my gosh. She's doing it. She's just dancing around the attacks. Like exactly like an airbender should be doing. And then they because Mako and Bolin were in the ropes. And then the sides, they were in the ropes and they were being attacked, and then she just dodges everything to the point where the other team is tired out. He just just blasts them over the water and into the water, my bad. And then they win, and then Korra freaking Tenzin's just like, yes! And then he goes and walks away. And then freaking next day, later that night, they're fixing the thing again. And then Korra's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said what I said, and no, it was wrong of me to do that. And I was like, yeah, Korra, you apologize. And he's like, well, I'm sorry too, I tried to push you through this, like this, and I actually, teaching you about patience, I lost my temper too. And I was like, it's okay, that was funny. And then she just goes like, he's like, you know what, you danced like an airbender that time. He's like, you stayed to watch? I thought you didn't like that. And I was like, you know what? I noticed that pro bending just might be where you could learn. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. Maybe this is a new way to teach. And then she's like, well, that's good because I officially joined their team. And we have a tournament next week. I was like, damn, Korra, you're already making plans. And then the episode ends like that. She's like, but I'll be back tomorrow, bright and early, to do my airbending training. And it's like, well, at least she's gonna take her training seriously. But this episode was just funny. Like, I laughed a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. I like Tenzin's character. Korra is just, I hope she's better in the next tournament. I hope she's as good as she was in round 3 of this tournament. Because honestly, the first 2 was just funny but sad. The Avatar just failing. I thought that was hilarious. But But this has been it for this review. Tell me what you thought about the episode and thoughts. In the comment section below, your thoughts. Did you like the episode? Thumbs up for freaking Korra, the hilarious character. I like her character a lot, actually. Um, I do. I still hope we get to see Toph. I hope we get to see Aang in like a little spiritual getaway. I hope we get to see Katara again too. And I want to know what happened to Sokka. I want to know if he died of natural causes or if he died in a war or like in a battle or something. I don't know, but stuff like that. So I want to know how that works out. Zuko's obviously dead, but I want to know how it happened. I still want to know what the freak happened to Zuko's mom. Freaking, what was her name? That one, the middle child, Ikki. She freaking ruined that in the last episode. I forgot to mention that. She ruined, because, the older one, Janora is like, hey, Grandma Katara, I read your stories. And then you said, I want to know what happened to Zuko's mom. She was about to say it, and Ikki just comes out of nowhere. Hey, Grandma, why are you so old? How old are you, anyways? And I was like, oh my god, she just ruined it. But yeah, this has been it for this episode. Keep your bending training to get as good as the as a pro. What do you think of pro bending? Are you for it? Are you against it? What do you think of the equalist, which we didn't see in this episode? And I guess that's it. So I'll catch you guys later for episode number 3, whenever it comes out, which I'm getting. It's gonna be next Saturday. So I'll see you then.